Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to episode 2 of my Couch to 50k journey. This is now the end of week 5, which means it's also the end of my intro phase of training. So in this video, I am going to go a little bit more in depth into what the plan was for the intro phase, what actually happened, what I've learned, where I'm at now, and of course what is next. So the aim of this phase, very simply, was to give me an introduction to running. So build up the mileage, work the runs into my strength training and kind of see how that all fit together, find out where I'm at in terms of fitness from both a cardiovascular point of view as well as my muscular endurance, and see if there was any niggles, any imbalances, anything like that, any problems with my running mechanics, anything at all really. This was a 5-week period just to evaluate exactly where I was and then build from there. So the idea was to start on 17 in week 1, and then by week 5 I wanted to hit about 30-35 kilometers. So I've had 2 main issues so far from a physical injury point of view. Number 1, the very first long run that I did, which was 10 kilometers, the morning after that, so the Sunday of my first week, I literally got out of bed and went my left knee just completely gave way. No idea why. It felt like something was stuck in it. I don't know, but whatever that was has kind of carried on a bit but got better as I've focused more on mobility, and just as I've ran it seems to be actually fine now. So that was a bit weird. And then secondly, my Achilles. If I've had a bit of a break in the past from long distance hiking and then started to ramp up my volume quickly, my Achilles are always the first thing to go. So obviously with the extra impact of running, I was very worried that my Achilles would cause issues. So what happened? My Achilles have caused issues. So week 1 I did 17 kilometers, week 2 I did 17 kilometers but got injured. Week 3 I ended up doing 14 kilometers but was basically injured for the whole week. Like, my ankle never felt good. By the time week 4 came around, I had decided to take the entire week off and just focus on my strength training, my rehab and recovery. I replaced my runs with static cycling and wasn't expecting to run at all that week. However, by the time the Saturday came around, one of my friends was coming down from Glasgow to do a run, and I don't think I would have gone out if he hadn't come down. And although my Achilles did flare up a little bit during that run, everything generally felt an awful lot better. And throughout this last week, I have focused so hard on rehab, prehab, recovery, mobility work, literally anything I can do to give my Achilles the best chance of survival, on keeping everything mobile that could possibly affect that. And I've actually had a fantastic week. So I got out and did 5k on Tuesday, that felt okay. Then went and did 7k on the Wednesday right after it, that again felt okay. And then Saturday I went out, last run of this intro phase. I obviously knew that mileage wise I was behind where I wanted to be. So I decided to go out and do a half marathon, just over 21 kilometers. I thought, if I can reasonably do 16 or 17, then I might have to just shuffle a bit for the last few kilometers, but it should be okay. It shouldn't cause any major problems. And also, if I can do the half, it means that my mileage is up to 33 kilometers. And I'm basically back on track-ish with my training. The half marathon was actually fantastic, so I loved it. I loved pretty much every second of it until about 17 kilometers, when my body just literally went and just switched off, and my legs stopped wanting to move. Everything just went really tight. I felt like I was really lacking in sodium at that point. Cramps were sort of threatening, although it didn't actually arrive. And I'd just had enough. Finished the half marathon in under 2.5 hours, which I was absolutely ecstatic about. It was about 600 meters of ascent, and first half marathon, first time I've ran more than 13 kilometers in one sitting. And after only 5 weeks of training, I would have been happy with anything under 3 hours. So being able to just tick off that milestone of the half marathon has just given me such a boost. And not only that, but it actually means that because I did 33 kilometers in my training last week with no real injuries, although DOMs are pretty severe today, and I'm basically right back on track. So I built up the mileage to where I wanted to. I've managed to fit this in quite comfortably to my lifestyle and other training. Although I haven't stayed injury free, I've found out what the injuries are. I'm pretty certain I know at least roughly what's causing them, and I've been able to successfully so far deal with that as well, and I'm now feeling quite robust and confident in terms of my body and looking after it, and I've got a good idea of where I'm at fitness wise, and that is ahead of where I wanted to be at this stage. So all in all, absolutely fantastic first 5 weeks. I think the main things I've learned are it takes 2 to 3 weeks before you really start to feel like something is happening positively from a cardiovascular point of view. After about 2 or 3 weeks as well, you stop wanting to quit. I had those thoughts pretty much every run for the first 2 or 3 weeks, but now, having got through that, I feel so much better about it all. And I would say the other thing that I've learned, which I already kind of knew but has been hammered home to me, is that in terms of total volume, when you're getting into something new, whether it is running or, as I've done in the past, long distance hiking, anything at all, just be really careful with the increase in volume. If you're not in any rush, I think a 5% increase every week is more than adequate, to be honest. It's much better to undertrain and keep moving forward than to overtrain, get injured and not be able to keep moving forward. So next up for me, training wise, is the base phase, which is another 5-week block. Although there's nothing too complex with this phase, there is a lot more volume, and it does make me a little bit nervous. Main thing for me, I think, right now is just to focus on staying healthy from a muscular ligament point of view, and just keep an eye on my Achilles, make sure they're alright, make sure they're happy. But yeah, so far so good with the running. If you'd like to come with me on this journey, as ever, please do subscribe, please give this video a like, drop me a comment as well if you've got any tips or if you're doing something similar. It all helps me to move forward with my running. It also all helps the algorithm so that YouTube thinks that this video is worth watching, and then hopefully shares it with other people as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.